It is just indescribable being able to say, I surf in Ohio.
Be a part of a community on this beautiful lake. It's almost like you're a part of nature. It's kind of like you're kissing the lake.
Most surfers around here agree that if you can surf, let's say a chest to shoulder high wave in Lake Erie, you can surf a chest to shoulder high wave anywhere in the world.
My name is Neil Luoma. I started surfing here on Lake Erie, 1967, on a home-built surfboard with my friend Eugene Niemanen.
Been friends with Neil since kindergarten. Started building surfboards in high school. Neil had been to Florida for the winter and came back with a blueprints how to build a surfboard. We said, we can do that.
Every winter, my parents would take me to Florida, and I saw the surfing going on. It wasn't even that big in the 60s, you know. It was just catching on down there, too. So that's when, like, Gene wanted to make a board up here, and I says, well, we could surf these waves, because I lived on the lake my whole life, and I've always seen the waves. So we knew if we had a surfboard, we could really do it, and that we needed that board.
So we went and found refrigerator foam, because we couldn't get Clark or any other foam around here. Then we got fiberglass, and molded fiberglass, donated a gallon here and a gallon there, and it melted our refrigerator foam, so we came back and he gave us, oh, you need epoxy. My basement floor still has an outline of a surfboard where the resin dripped off and landed on the basement floor, and then we painted over it so you can always still stand on that old spiritual surfboard.
So when we went out and got our boards finally built, we brought them down. It was like early April or something, and the ice was still just that weak. It was ice that finally got
Talk
the
about
board.
ice cream headache.
Yes.
You punch through the wave and your head and just throb.
We were going out, and the first times we went surfing, we didn't have a wetsuit. We went out with just long johns on, like thermal underwear. And it was
Sweater.
and a wool sweater and stuff like that. And it was just like, and you could only go out for just the shortest amount of time and just try to catch one or two waves, and then that's it. I mean, we're just so crazy and stoked that that's what we wanted, to get out the water and get a wave, and even if it was just a short thing. We decided that it was such a fun thing to do. We constantly started getting deeper and deeper involved with the sport, and we got to the point where we wanted to make our own boards and start building them for other people.
The Oscar Harris Surfboard Shop.
Frank Harris and me made boards there, about 55 of them. We had so much fun that we were just bursting, trying to get the next day to go out surfing and ride a wave, because when you catch a wave and you're sliding down it, it's a whole different feeling than you've ever experienced. It's just freeing of your energies.
It's in your blood. You kind of like look out and you're always seeing the lake. If it's flat, if it's rough. But now when we see the lake, we'd say, oh, grab the boards, let's go. Everybody would run down to the beach and catch a few waves. And it's always, when it's cold, windy, water spouts out there. Good surfing time then.
These are the articles I wanted to show you, that all the newspapers do recognize that it's going on, surfing in the Great Lakes or in Ohio. So these are like the old days. Some of these go back all the way, like this one is 1968. That's the first article that we had. We called it Hard But Possible. The guys that surf here are all friends, or pretty much tight. I mean, we're excited to see each other. Whereas on the coast now, people are territorial. They want to have pick fights, get out of my area.
My wave,
Yeah, it's my wave.
as you were saying about Lake Erie, well, like Neil and I, we started surfing about the time we learned to drive.
Yeah.
And so it's been that long, so it's kind of like it's here, it's a tradition. You can look out and bang, hit the surf.
A cold water surf specialist because there's no crowds, there's cool people, and it's close to home. But I have surfed other places like Florida and Hawaii, and they're cool too. You just have to learn how to work your way into a lineup. But here you have every wave for yourself, or just a few buddies, that aren't gonna give you a hard time about dropping in on them if you do it on accident.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah, we still try not to blow up spots by giving them away too much, but even you find like after November, there's no competition. Nobody, you could give away every spot and you still wouldn't have a crowded lineup. I'm feeling refreshed. This suit is hot, believe it or not. So being refreshed by cool water gives you a nice rush. And got my blood pumping. That's all part of the rush of surfing. Blood pumping, adrenaline pumping. Yeah, just waiting for the next waves to come by. Not an adrenaline junkie though. I've learned to mellow a tad. I used to get angry when it wasn't real wavy.
That's right.
Now I'm just like, yo, just chill. Send it and just chill. That's life,
Yeah.
Sometimes you're sending it,
Uh-huh.
the rest of the time you just chill.
Right.
Simple.
When I started, I didn't know anybody else that surfed. I just always liked the lake, and I liked the water. And I think I watched Endless Summer, one of the classic surf movies or something when I was in high school, and just kind of became obsessed with surfing on the lake. I ordered a board and a wetsuit from eBay when I was maybe 16, 17, and would drag my first boyfriend out with me. And one day we were out way up east of Cleveland, and we were driving home, and we saw a car that had boards on the roof. And we just did a U-turn and went into this bar and figured out who they belonged to, and then made some friends. And then, from there we had kind of a crew. Just in the amount of time that I've been surfing, wetsuit technology has gotten so much better that it's way more accessible. It used to suck a lot more than it does now. And so you used to have to be a little nuts, or more than a little. And so it was a pretty tight group. They were protective of spots and stuff, but it was mostly there's the public beaches, but then a lot of the smaller spots are private property or hard to get to or not safe. The currents are bad here. The wave period is short. The cold does something to you. It's not the safest activity. Any place you surf, there's good and bad things about it. And in California, the traffic sucks, the parking sucks, the crowds suck. And here you can go out and be alone, and it's snowy and it's pretty and it's nice. So I like that aspect of it. And then, the small group of friends that we do have here, it's nice to see people that you know. But it's exhilarating. The cold makes you feel incredible.
I started surfing Lake Erie in maybe 2004. And a lot more people are coming in, which is great. But back in the day, you wouldn't tell anybody where the break was. You wouldn't say anything. And if you did, you wouldn't be allowed back at that break. Because everybody went searching for the certain...
If you're afraid of
Yeah, you're afraid of other people that used to do it, yeah. You would just keep quiet and you would just shut up and show up with yourself. You wouldn't tell anybody where it was. Would tell your friends. It was kind of like a... You get to surf it, you're lucky, so shut up. The adrenaline rush of going in the water when it's snowing and 0 degrees and the water's at 32 degrees. I don't know, it's just a rush. I guess I'm always chasing the adrenaline rush. we're happy that you have a big lake that you can go surfing in. It's few and far between, so we got to just be on top of it, I guess, and find out when the waves are good. Just the camaraderie of your friends and just going out here doing it. It's not the best waves in the world, but who cares? It's just for fun.
You know, the reality is you can surf wherever there's a wave. People surf off the wake of a freighter. So wherever there's a wave, you can surf. I've said this many times, and I think most surfers around here agree that if you can surf, let's say a chest-to-shoulder high wave in Lake Erie, you can surf a chest-to-shoulder high wave anywhere in the world. For us, we need wind to generate our waves. So around here, we need a big northwest or a big northeast. When we get those winds, it's usually fall, winter, and spring. Times that a lot of people don't want to be out there, because you can go out on a day where all you see is somebody's eyes. I mean, because they're just head to toe in neoprene. Anybody who's ever been out on the water just knows, I mean, it's a lot of things, but it can be super calming. It can be very dangerous. It's a lot different than an ocean wave. You know, our waves are not as strong, or they don't move as fast as an ocean wave, but they're super close together. You know, they're all wind generated. So you go to the ocean, and usually it's 3 or 4 waves to a set, and then there's a little lull, then there's another 3 or 4 waves. Here, our sets are, I don't know, 500-600 at a time. They just keep coming. It's relentless. You know, it's if you get what they term caught inside, so you're on a wave, you wipe out, and now you're in that zone where the waves just keep on breaking. You know, you might take 12 on the head before you can get out of there. Usually you can get out pretty quick in the ocean because there's a lull. Here, it just keeps coming. When the wind dies, the waves die. As long as it's windy, there's going to be waves. Be prepared to get a wetsuit, get booties, get gloves, get a hood, get all of that stuff, because, you know, we'll surf till the water freezes. I think, you know, a lot of people grew up just thinking that, you know, you can only surf on an ocean, and that's not right. So today, Edgewater, there will be surfers down there.
It is just indescribable being able to say, I surf in Ohio. Nobody ever pictures that. Especially around the Great Lakes. You know about the Edmund Fitzgerald. That ship sank in swell, like a 25-foot swell. So why wouldn't there be waves on any of the other Great Lakes? And also, like, I think by surface area, Lake Erie is the 10th largest body of fresh water on the planet. So why wouldn't there be any waves during wind? Frankly, I think it's a little bit more dangerous. The water's colder, it's fresh water, it's not ocean water, so you're less buoyant. When there's waves, like at Edgewater, Huntington, as soon as you go out to about waist deep, you can feel the undertow like dragging you back, and if you're not like a strong swimmer, I wouldn't recommend going out there. Go with 1 or 2 people at like minimum. Being able to ride like energy, I guess, is how I describe like a wave's energy from the world. Just standing up and gliding across the water. It doesn't matter if I'm like doing a cutback or anything, but just being able to do it for like 5 to 10 seconds on like one little ride and then jump off and try and catch another one. It just feels pretty rewarding, and I don't know, it takes my mind off a lot of things.
Well, after you guys left, I got my GoPro out to film a little like POV board shots, and I paddled out and I was getting ready to take off on this wave, and I paddled into it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. So I tried to pull back and it broke on top of me and I didn't let go of my board. It pushed me over the falls and I got stuck in between the cyclone and the wave. Well, it's like inside the tube or just in the whitewash, pushed me under. And when I surfaced, my board had gotten behind me and just shot back into my face, and all three of my fins just ruptured my face, and I got like a wild concussion from it. It was just pretty ironic that I was mentioning the safeties or dangers just being in the lake. You're like, what, your fan can't face. One of those just happened that day. It just kind of felt weird because I've never had a concussion before. And I was just kind of in a daze for a lot of it. All the guys that were there helped me out and got me safe. And then almost after a month, I tried surfing again, and it was on a day that was almost exactly like the day I got my concussion. I got suited up, and I stepped in the water for about 30 minutes. I was so like scared out of my mind that I just didn't paddle out. I was like, nah, I'll sit this out. I didn't think I was gonna give up, but like, it definitely was gonna take a while for me to get over big waves for sure. Like anything above my waist was just kind of, I was very hesitant on, and if it was anything like chest or above, I was scared, like honestly. The first wave I caught that was about that high when it was after my concussion. That was a very scary day. I'm in a 6'5" wetsuit, like everything's weighing me down. The wind was starting to pick up. It wasn't like too windy, but it was still big enough to where like I fell a couple of times to where I'm like, okay, I had that moment of panic when I fell inside the water. I did have a feeling for bigger waves that I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this if I don't get over this fear. I finally went back out to Presque Isle and caught some 10-high waves. Just kind of like, all right, well, I really enjoy surfing, and I'm never going to be able to surf waves like these or any of that again if I don't get over this fear. It was important, at least for me, because I really enjoy it. You know, no one really wants to go out in like cold weather, but those waves make it worth it. Because like everyone pictures surfing, you know, sunny, beach setting, somewhere in like Hawaii, Australia, or California or something like that. But here, it's just, what? Surfing in Ohio? Yeah, it's possible. I wasn't gonna give that up because I get way too much of like stoke and happiness from it versus like anything else I probably have never done. Like a lot of people just get this idea that surfing has to be, you know, a white sandy beach with clean waves. Like they're getting too much into this like cinematic movie stereotype, I feel. And a lot of other people don't understand that there's other places and other like types of surfing that people just don't understand or see because it's not publicized the way mainstream surfing is. Cleveland for sure is my home break, and it's Lake Erie. It's not the ocean, it's fresh water that's basically an inland sea.
Me and Joe were out there, and in all the craziest waves, I see this purple bottle floating around. And I paddle up to it, and I look inside, and there's a message inside. And now I had to figure out how to get it back because I can't hold it in my hand, so I had to stick it with my teeth and try not to fall and bust my teeth on the way back. That's just in a bottle right here in Lake Erie.